All right. Hey, everybody. Let's take a look at these dilations and how to figure out what the scale factor is when given the pre-image and the image in your picture. So on all of these, the pre-image will always be in the black color shape. And the image shape will always be some other color, green or orange or blue or whatever it is. So we're always going from the black shape as a pre-image to a different color shape as the image. So the orange shape is a dilation of the black shape. What is the scale factor of dilation? And it's always going to say simplify your answer and write it as a fraction or a whole number. They never want a decimal, and they never want a mixed number. They want an improper fraction or a proper fraction or a whole number if it's just a whole number. So as you can see, the black shape is smaller, the pre-image, and the image is larger. So this was obviously an enlargement, which means that my scale factor should be something greater than 1. How do I find that? Well, I can pick any point I want on the pre-image, and then the corresponding point, the matching point on the image. So I'm just going to pick this point right here on the pre-image. And one of the reasons I picked that is because it's on an axis. So one of the values is 0, which makes it very easy. So the coordinate here is -2, 0. And then the corresponding or matching point on the image that's dilated is here at the coordinate -10, 0. And now I just have to figure out what number I multiply by to go from -2, 0 to -10, 0. Well, if you have the answer and you want to know what you multiplied by, you work backwards by doing the inverse. You divide. You always divide what you finished with by what you started with. So you're going to divide the image number divided by the pre-image number. In this case, the image, I'm going to pick the x coordinates because the y coordinates are both 0. They're not going to do me any good. The x coordinate is -10 on the image, and on the pre-image, it's -2. And -10 divided by -2 gives me a scale factor of 5. That's what I multiply by. I could have picked any point I wanted and any value I wanted. I could have picked the x or the y. It doesn't even matter. Watch this. I'm going to pick this point. The coordinate here, this point on the pre-image, is 2, 2. And the matching or corresponding point on the image is up here, and that's 10, 10. So whether I pick the x's and I put 10/2, well, that's 5. Or if I pick the y's and put 10/2, it's still 5. The scale factor for this is always going to be 5. You don't even have to do both the x's and the y's. You can pick any point you want, and then either the x's or the y's, and divide the image coordinates value divided by the pre-image coordinates value. That's how you find the scale factor. So that is an enlargement. I have a few examples to show you all the different possibilities. Here's a reduction or a shrink. The green shape, look how tiny it is. That tiny little green shape is a dilation of the black shape. What's the scale factor of the dilation? Well, I know I got smaller, so I know I have a reduction. This is a reduction, which means that my scale factor has to be less than 1. It's going to be some sort of fraction. If I get something more than 1, I made a mistake. I did it backwards, or I divided backwards, or I made the fraction backwards. I need to have a fraction that's less than 1. And again, it has to be a fraction, not a decimal. So don't make your fractions into decimals. Don't divide it on a calculator and get a decimal. So I need to pick any point on the pre-image I want. I'll pick this top corner. Why not? And the coordinate there is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4, -4. Now the matching or corresponding point on the image on the green little triangle is right there. And the coordinate there is 1, -1. So if I divide the coordinate of the image divided by the coordinate of the pre-image, I can pick the x's or the y's, it doesn't matter. I'll pick the x's because they're both positive. It just makes it easier. So the x of the pre-image is, or the x of the image is 1, and the pre-image is 4. So it's 1 divided by 4. 1 divided by 4? Don't make it a decimal, 0.25. And 1 divided by 4 is not 4. 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. If I did 1 divided by 4 and got 4, because I really did 4 divided by 1, I would say, wait a second, my scale factor can't be 4 because it's a reduction. How could it be less? How can it be more than 1? 1 divided by 4 is just 1/4. Done. Ta-da. If I had done the y coordinates there, I would have done -1 divided by -4, which is still positive 1/4 because negative divided by negative makes it positive. Just want to show you that every point works. What if I decided to use this point instead? And the point here is 4, -8. And the corresponding point here is 1, -2. Okay. Well, I can do 1 divided by 4 for the x coordinates. I've already done that. What if I decide to do the y coordinates? I just want to show you that you're making it harder this way, but it still gets you the same answer. If I do the y coordinates of -2 over -8, -2 over -8. Well, first of all, you know that negative divided by negative makes a positive. And 2/8, that simplifies. They both divide by 2. And 2/8 becomes, you got it, 1/4. My scale factor, 1/4. It's not all quite so nice and simple. I have a couple more examples of some scale factors that aren't so pretty, but they still follow the same procedure. Take the image coordinate and divide it by the pre-image coordinate, and that gives you your scale factor. So again, I'm going from black shape to blue shape, getting larger. This is an stretch or an enlargement, whichever word you want to use. It's a zoom, it's blowing it up. So I'm going to pick any point I want. I'm going to pick this point right here. Why not? And the coordinate there is 1, 2, 3, -1, 2, 3. And now the matching or corresponding point on the image is right here. And the coordinate there is 4, -4. I wrote the whole coordinate. You don't even need the whole coordinate. If you want to ignore the y's and just focus on the x's, that's fine. So you're going to do the coordinate of the image divided by the coordinate of the pre-image. And the coordinate of the image, I'll do the x's because they're positive, is 4. And the coordinate of the pre-image for x is 3. And 4/3, that's my answer. It doesn't divide. It doesn't simplify. I don't make it a mixed number. I don't make it a decimal. They want a proper fraction, an improper fraction, or a whole number. That's an improper fraction. That's what they want. That's what they've got. 4/3. 4/3 an enlargement? Let me think. 4/3 is greater than 1. So yes, that's an enlargement. And my last one. Guess what it's going to be? It's going to be a reduction. Going from the black shape to the green shape of reduction. And I'm going to pick a point and say, what are my coordinates? So this is a reduction, which means, or a shrink, which means that my scale factor should be less than 1. I better get a fraction that's less than 1. All right, so let's pick a point. I don't know. Let's pick this point right up here on the pre-image. So my coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way up is 10. So this is 5, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. All right. And then the corresponding or matching point is this one. The coordinate there is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 3, 6. And now if I do the image divided by the pre-image, oops, image. I'm going to do the x's or the y's? It doesn't matter. They'll give you the same answer. I'll do them both. The x's will be 3 for the image over 5 for the pre-image. 3 over 5. 3 over 5, don't divide it, you'll get a decimal. The numerator is smaller than the denominator, which is good because that means I'm less than 1. Nothing simplifies. 3/5 is my answer, and I'm done. If I had decided to use the y's instead, if I decided to use the 6 and the 10, it'd be 6 over 10. I need to simplify that fraction by dividing the numerator and denominator by 2, and guess what I get? Winner, 3/5. That's how you find your scale factor. Pick any coordinate you want. Pick the one that's easiest. Pick the one that has positive numbers. Don't pick the ones over here. They're negatives. Don't pick the ones on here. They're all negatives. Pick the easiest one, the one that has a positive value. And then pick either X or Y. It doesn't even matter which one you do. If you do them both, you can check yourself to make sure you didn't count wrong or divide wrong. You can do X and Y to check yourself. And put the image coordinate divided by the pre-image coordinate in its fraction form if it doesn't divide evenly. You've got a scale factor. All right, get to work.